And we're live. Love it. I love going live. It's really exciting. I feel like I'm on the radio.
You should have a 10-second countdown like me with some really
Yeah,
funky music or
with some
something.
quick music. I'll figure that out. I'm still figuring all this out, Mike. Bear with me. Come on. So I am obviously live again on LinkedIn, and I've been joined by the brilliant Mike Roberts. Mike, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah. Well, first of all, thanks for having me on, and
Yeah, no,
thanks for
thanks
being
for
an
coming.
amazing friend and contact over the years.
Right.
But to introduce myself, so by day, I solve email encryption and electronic signature problems for clients.
Yeah.
And by night and weekend, I've got my own little mini business called Making Digital Real.
Yeah.
So I
So
love
let's
helping
just talk about
salespeople.
making digital real. So where did that, why do that? What was the kind of the sort of
Yeah.
decision behind it?
So 5 years ago, started selling email encryption and e-signature software. And I just thought there's got to be an easier way to do sales. And I'd been using LinkedIn and things like that for a little while, but I really got passionate about trying to figure out how to run a business and grow your business without the laborious 90s sales tactics that people still do.
Yeah, I mean, I get so many messages in my inbox. People send me a connection request and basically go, "Can I sell you something?" And I'm
Yeah,
like, "No, you can't." I just decline them now. I decline those requests that immediately have a sales pitch because I'm
absolutely.
just not up for it.
So I just wanted to throw all that in the bin. I wanted to throw the suits away,
Yeah,
for
love
me
it.
personally.
Yeah,
Um, Asking awful sales questions, doing the pitches, following it up with a 30-page PDF that nobody's ever going to read.
yeah, that makes you want to cry as soon as you receive
Yeah.
it. Yeah, and
So
it
I've
feels a bit
just,
icky sending it, doesn't it? It's like, oh, I've got to do that. Got to
it's
send this.
awful.
I'm probably not going to get the reply. It's going to get ignored.
It's awful. And I think the
Yeah.
days of the corporates have gone.
Mm.
If you want to buy this or buy that, you used to always go to the global corporate leader because there was nowhere else to go.
Yeah.
And now because of digital technology and social media, you find out, oh, a friend of a friend's got his own business or her
Mm.
business that
Yeah.
does something like that. So for me, it's all about authenticity, rehumanizing the business, and just being you. Stop being black text on a white background or
Yeah.
a PDF brochure. You're you. People
Yeah.
buy from you more than ever
Love
now.
that. Love that. Okay, so you realised that there was a better way of doing things. Then what happened? Did you just suddenly go, right, I've got to show other people how to do this? Like,
Oh,
talk me through
it
it.
started with a PDF. I just thought
Really?
I'll do a 10-page PDF on how to use LinkedIn. Why not? I've got some spare time.
Yeah.
Selling that for £10. And then people started asking me, "Oh, can you show me how to do this? Can you show me how to do that? Can you do some training for me?" And I'm like,
Mm.
"Yeah, okay." And one
Yeah.
thing led to another, and now I've got books, um, live events 6 times
So
a
nice.
year,
Yeah.
showing people how to create self-filling pipelines,
Yeah. Love
video
it.
messaging courses, and it seems to be going down really well. So I think I've just found something that I'm good at, and I've turned it into a little mini side hustle, which is
Yeah.
all good.
Do you know what I really like about actually the way that you do it is you tend to try to personalize it for people. So, you'll put it into context. And, I think that's so helpful because sometimes you can get all of this information thrown at you as to how to do something, but then it's like,
Mm,
wait, how do I actually apply this to my situation that might be slightly different to someone else's? So yeah,
yeah.
I really like that about it. So how long have you been running Making Digital Real now?
So probably about 3 or 4 years, and then it just became like a proper business about a year ago,
Right.
and I just love it. It's just like a hobby that turned into a business just by accident, almost in a way.
Yeah.
And I love speaking to people who are so frustrated in sales or running a business, and they really don't know how to do things a different way. And when I show them the power of, you know, a video message in somebody's inbox, or creating something that's an animated GIF so that they know that it's, by a real person,
Yeah.
and they just start getting more leads and more inquiries and more sales, and they're just like, why didn't I think of this before?
Right.
And
Yeah.
my answer to that is, I'm in exactly the same boat.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I
Yeah.
think, we're all sort of, trying, because I know I have been just throwing mud at the wall and hoping something sticks. without a proper process, and it's taken me probably the best part of 18 months to realize that actually I need a better process than just, I've thought of something to say today, I'm just going to stick it on LinkedIn and hope some people see it, right? There's got to be a better way. And I think that's what I like about Making Digital Real, is you come up with actual useful processes for taking people through, right the way through from them becoming a cold lead, I suppose, right the way through to actually funneling them through into someone who makes a purchase. So I think it's really cool. Just to interrupt, a couple of people have said they can't see the video. I don't know how to fix that, but
I think it's working well.
Yeah.
I'll check on my mobile.
Yeah, do just double check. I'm not entirely sure. As far as we can tell, our video is showing. So I don't know if it's a LinkedIn.
Yeah, it's loading up now.
I'll give it a minute.
Yeah, there's it's just a black
see
screen. Oh no, we're on there. No, it's good. I can see the video.
Strange. Okay, we'll just power through. At least they can hear our dulcet tones. So obviously, as well as Making Digital Real, you also have the email encryption and e-signature side of what you do. So talk me through that, because obviously I'm a big fan of Frama. I think it's brilliant. Am I saying it right as well? Because sometimes I don't know.
Yeah, Frama. Yeah. Well, Frama used to be a franking machine company, and they still are. They're 50 years old.
Oh, right. I didn't know that.
Yeah, my background comes from mailroom equipment. I've been doing that since I left college.
Okay, right.
And because obviously I have a passion for software and digital technology, I now work for Frama, which is one of the best things I've ever done.
Really?
And I'm helping their franking machine customers move over from physical mail to digital mail.
Is this the franking machine that I've got? Where I go online and...
No, the old-fashioned dinosaur technology. Those big machines that sit in mailrooms where you have to put the envelopes through.
You feed it through. Yeah. And they're like go continuously through. Yeah. They used to have them in they probably still do, in the large law firms, in the post room. Yeah. They take all your posts down and they frank it through this machine. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's just a thing. A lot, and I asked the question, why are people still using these machines? And the answer is, oh well, I need a piece of paper because I need to know that it definitely got there, so it's a recorded piece of mail, or I needed a signature on it, so I put a stamped addressed envelope inside to get it to sign and send back. And I'm thinking, you can do all this electronically now.
Yeah.
So with our Outlook plugin, I'm helping people turn their emails into registered emails, so they've got legal proof of content delivery and when it was sent, when it was opened.
Yeah.
They can attach a document for an e-signature. If they've got large files, they can send up to 1 gigabyte of data with it. So get rid of the DX and start.
So I didn't realize that.
Yeah. And obviously the encryption, it's safe and secure now, whereas email was never designed to be secure, but our Outlook plugin makes it secure. So you're all GDPR, you're good to go, basically.
I mean, I love it. It's super easy to use. I like the fact that I can literally attach a Word document, click a button that says send it registered, and send it for e-signature. I love
the fact, a PDF.
Yeah. And for signing, and then sends everyone. And obviously there are alternatives, but for me, it just was the easiest option, quite frankly. It was the most straightforward one. And a lot of them don't have the Outlook plugin. So you're still having to go to a separate website to upload your document to send it for e-signature. Whereas I was like, I don't want to be faffing about with logging into another platform to do something. I want it to be there, really straightforward. And I've used the registered button as well for sending things like letters before action by email and post. But I can see it's been opened. I can see when it was delivered. I can see when it was opened, down to the millisecond, I think it is. I just think it's brilliant. And, you can then say to the client, well, actually, they have opened it and they're ignoring it. And we're confident of that. We're confident it hasn't been sent to junk. We can be confident it's been opened and they are just basically ignoring it. Well, that then informs your next decision, as to what you're going to do next, because you know that they have seen it. I think it's brilliant. I love it.
Oh, thank you very much. And it's good for time-sensitive emails as well. I've got a lot of law firms that need proof that they sent something to the courts before 5 o'clock on Friday or something.
Yeah.
and now they've got their legal proof that they need. So it's all good.
Yeah,
I love it.
exactly. Yeah. So just going back to making digital real, what are your sort of top tips, I suppose, because it's LinkedIn, isn't it, mainly that you
Yeah.
leverage, to kind of build your business and get leads and stuff. What are your sort of top tips for using LinkedIn to its optimum, really, to build your business and drive, warm leads to your
I
business?
would say with LinkedIn, just make sure that you've got all of your conversion boosters in place on your LinkedIn profile. So, for example, if somebody lands on your LinkedIn page, make sure they understand the problem that you solve and who you are in the first 6 or 7 seconds. Otherwise, they're
Mm,
off. So, use that banner behind your profile photo well. Make
yeah.
sure that it says instantly the problems you solve. Don't put a pretty picture of a beach or a sunset in there. Just do it well.
Mm,
Utilize your 30-second video clip as well that sits inside your profile picture.
yeah.
So that profile video is the start of rehumanizing the business. When somebody clicks on that, they've met you now.
And do you think it needs to be, because I've seen somewhere it's not the person speaking, they've got like an animated video, or it's kind of an information video as opposed to the person. Do you think it's better to have the actual person speaking, kind of introducing themselves?
Yeah, I think it needs to be the person. If you've got
Yeah.
an animated 30-second infographic or whatever it might be, great. Put it in your featured section, because that's where your really colorful
Mm,
content needs to sit. But when I click on that profile photo, I want to know who you are. I don't really care about the product at this stage. I'm on LinkedIn to learn about you, not
yeah.
necessarily your product.
Yeah.
So in that 30-second clip, tell me who you work with, tell me
Mm,
why you do what you do, and tell me the problems that you solve, and what's your call to action? How can I get in touch with you, and what's our next stage is going to be?
yeah. Everyone's going to go off and look at yours now, aren't they? See,
Yeah.
I've played with it. I've had one, then I've taken it off, then I've put something else on, then I've taken it off, and I just can't quite get it to a point where I'm happy with people watching it. And I'm
Yeah.
normally okay with being on video. Like, I record videos all the time, but there's just something really uncomfortable about recording a 30-second video like that. It feels really
It is tough.
weird. I haven't yet nailed it, but
Yeah.
I do need to figure it out, because video is huge now, isn't it? You send videos messages to people,
Mm.
don't you? You don't just, there's none of this typing out messages anymore. You do personalized video messages. So
Yeah, I mean, that's something amazing with LinkedIn. So let's just say I've got an inquiry, and I've done my Zoom meeting. Maybe I've demonstrated my services or my product or the software,
Mhm.
and then the Zoom meeting ends, and the next stage is I'll send you some prices and maybe a nice PDF brochure. Well, I don't do that. I'm going to send you another 30-second video clip, just capturing those main things that we talked about, share my screen, so that 30, 60, or 90-second video is now ready for you to share with whoever. You might not be the decision maker. So the great thing from my point is that video is now going to a decision maker somewhere, and they've met me. They've not met a
Mm,
PDF brochure.
yeah.
So that's another tip. And my other top tip would be, look at your about section. Just
Mm.
just convince me that it's relevant, it's up to date. Use 2022 in the opening sentence, so I know that this is relevant and now.
Interesting.
And
Yeah.
and just look at every sentence that you write in your about section, because
Mm.
every time I look at people's, it's always I this, we that, me.
Mm.
Don't make it all about you, make it all about your reader. Psychologically, make your reader start nodding away thinking, oh, this person knows the world I'm living in.
Mm.
It's all about psychological triggers and conversion boosters. And once you've got all of them in place, suddenly your whole world will change and inquiries start coming in.
Yeah, because I had a look at your profile recently, and I really like your featured section, because it's not just sort of helpful things. It's actually like you're answering actual questions about things, and it isn't. Don't you have links to external documents and all that sort of stuff? I was like, oh, I'm going to screenshot that and basically copy all of his ideas, because I have a featured section
Yeah.
which has some helpful stuff in there, but it doesn't really then tell the people who are looking at it what to do next, or it doesn't sort of, I don't know, there's no real strategy behind it, whereas you can tell with yours it's very well thought through, and there's a very clear next step to take from those things that are in your featured section. So I think if
Yeah.
anyone is looking for a LinkedIn profile to kind of emulate, yours is a brilliant one. because it's very clear what you're expecting people to do when they go on it.
Yeah, I've played around with mine for years,
Yeah,
and it's good. It's never going to be perfect, but yeah, I like to think that I've got everything on there now to convince somebody that I'm the right person for them to work with, as long as my solution is right for them. So
yeah,
that's what you should be doing.
yeah. So obviously you started up making digital reel. What did you say? Probably about 18 months ago was
Yeah,
when you
properly.
really started going at it. What do you have, like a 5-year plan for it? Are you just seeing where it goes? Is there sort of a right, I'm gonna really go at this and
Yeah, I don't know. At the moment, it's just a really fun thing that I like to do on evenings and weekends
Mm,
outside of my normal working hours with Frama.
yeah,
Um, the Frama thing is amazing.
yeah,
I love working with clients to help them with this piece of software.
yeah.
I think I will always be providing the RMail solution,
Mm,
whatever happens, whether it's with me becoming an independent reseller for them.
yeah,
But for the time being, being part of Frama is incredible, and I'm just watching Making Digital grow in its spare time,
yeah,
and who knows? I'm just really excited
yeah.
about what might happen in the
And you
future.
get the best of both worlds, don't you? This is the thing. Like, you get to work with a team, with people you really like, doing something you really like, but also sort of stretching your creativity and your imagination,
Yeah,
seeing what you can build and what you can making digital real,
yeah.
really
I
fun.
always wanted a little business of my own, something
Yeah,
that I could grow and call my very own.
yeah,
And it's great. And the fact is, it brings people to my LinkedIn page, which is all
mm,
about email encryption and things like
mm,
that. So I don't talk to people as a LinkedIn trainer. I say, no, I'm in your world.
yeah,
I'm trying to sell something as well or grow a business just
yeah.
like you all
Absolutely,
are,
yeah.
and this is how I do it.
Yeah, actually, you're coming from a perspective of someone who is kind of going through it themselves, is trying to figure out
Yep,
how best to get leads from social media. Are you on any other social media platforms, or is it just LinkedIn that really is your main focus?
that's my main focus.
Yeah.
I use Facebook very rarely. I do a
Mm,
little ninja tip of the week every Saturday morning on it.
love that.
Instagram, I've stopped using.
Yeah.
So it's literally I've focused on one platform and made the best out of it and made it
Yeah,
my own.
yeah. Because there's a kind of couple of schools of thought, isn't there, that you shouldn't put all your eggs in one basket, um, versus actually really focusing on one platform to really nail it. And I
Yeah.
think I think I have sort of figured out LinkedIn. I'm quite confident with it now. I kind of know what I'm
Oh,
doing, and
you're awesome on it.
yeah, I'm getting there. I mean, trust
It's
me,
good.
there is no strategy behind anything that I do. It's very much, I'm just going to post this today, see what happens. I know that I need to get better at kind of being more targeted with it, but it's just not how my brain works. I just don't, I've had 90-day planning strategy sessions where you're supposed to plan out the next 90 days worth of social media posts, but my brain just doesn't work like that because it feels
No,
too contrived.
no,
You
I
know?
literally wake up, think of something, and
Mm,
if nothing comes to mind, I don't post. And if I've
yeah,
got a
right.
really great idea for one, I'll do it.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. I don't do any of this planning stuff that other people say.
Yeah, yeah, no, same, same. I just don't think it's worthwhile. But I've started to branch out onto the other platforms. So I've recently engaged. I don't know if you've come across Daisy, but she runs Splash Branding, who she does a lot of personal branding for lawyers, particularly.
Okay.
And she's doing my social media management on the other platforms for me. So not LinkedIn, but TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram,
Yeah.
because I kind of was like, well, what if LinkedIn just suddenly stopped and I've put literally all of my eggs in one basket here, and I just didn't have the time to really figure out how to then use those platforms to my advantage.
Right.
So I've got Daisy doing that for me, and honestly, she's doing such a better job than I ever could. You can see on my Instagram profile the difference in the quality of the posts. It's like it's chalk and cheese. To be fair,
That's awesome.
I saw her first repost, and I was like, oh yeah, this is why I'm paying you to do this for me, because there's no way I'm not creative in that way. She's absolutely smashed it. If anyone wants to go and have a look, you can see how amazing the work is that she's done on there.
Yeah, you
You
went
know,
viral the other day as well, didn't you?
I did. I was very excited. I got nearly 8,000 views on one of my Instagram reels, not TikTok. The same video went on TikTok, but I think it got something like 140 views on TikTok. And then my next video after that has hardly got any. So it was a one-off. The algorithm liked me briefly for a minute, and now it's like it hates me again. But I'm not on any of these platforms to expect anything from them, right? I think it's just about brand awareness for me, you know, and just making sure that we are getting in front of as many businesses wherever they may be, you know, because there are some businesses who aren't necessarily on LinkedIn that are on Instagram. There are even some that are really going at it on TikTok because it seems to be the most popular one. You know, so it's more about brand awareness than it is about getting leads for me, you know, because, you know, buying legal services tends to often be a distress purchase anyway. It's when someone's got a problem that they tend to come to us. It's rare that it is, oh, I'm going to be sensible and actually, you know, get a lawyer on board early doors, even if I don't really need one right now, I'm going to still make that connection. And that's very much what I would encourage, is for people to actually come and start to formulate that relationship with us way before they think they're ever going to need us.
Well, you're miles ahead than anyone else, because with personal branding, people know you, and you are getting so much great traction on LinkedIn and stuff.
Yeah,
and
right.
You are also you know, you're becoming a household name on there, which is incredible.
It's taken time, though. You know, this isn't a thing that has happened overnight in any way. I would say over 12 months of working at it, and not hours a day. You know, I probably spend half an hour a day on LinkedIn, but you have to be consistent. That's just how it is. You know, you have to, and you have to be true to your values and who you are, because I think otherwise people see through it. Like, you can't pretend to be someone you're not, because it will be jarring if you're putting personal stuff out there and also business stuff. People will be like, oh, hang on a second, that just doesn't match up. And then if you put out videos and the person that on the other end of the video isn't how you have seen them on a video on social media, that's weird also. You know, you've just got to be who you are. And that's a little bit intimidating to start with, right? It's a bit scary. I remember kind of going, I know that video is the way. I'm really terrified of doing a video because there's all these people that I've worked with, hundreds of people over the years, that are going to be judging me. And this is really intense and I don't want to do it. Nobody has said anything horrible. So even if they are saying it, they're not saying it to my face, right?
Yeah.
And I just think, how else can startup and small businesses set themselves apart from not even their competitors, but these businesses that have been running for, you know, 10, 20, 30, 40, 100 years? Well, you've got to do something different to what they're doing. Otherwise, you're just going to, you know, just get lost in the noise.
People bought from logos in the 90s and noughties. Now they're people buying from people more than ever. So if I can do it, anyone can do it. That's what I say to a lot of people, because they say, oh, what you sell is really good and all this. And I'm thinking, it's a great piece of software, but you know, I'm up against DocuSign. I'm up against multi-billion-dollar IT companies and Adobe. Yeah. So if little old me can, you know, make a living against those big corporates, then anyone can.
Anyone can. Yeah, exactly. It's just about putting yourself out there, isn't it? And being prepared to be a little bit vulnerable. Because you do LinkedIn lives on your own, don't you, quite often? I haven't been brave enough to do that yet. I can't bring myself to do it because I feel like I just sit there going, I don't know.
The thing is, it takes some getting used to, because like this, it's so easy. But when you're on your own and you're talking to that little green dot, your mind goes blank, and you're just thinking that, because I really want to create online courses, and I'm struggling at the moment because it's me recording it on my own, and I just get tongue tied, and I just think, I can't remember what to say, because your mind's on that little green dot, and it's so difficult.
Yeah, exactly. And you end up like, I'm sure you've got loads of outtakes, right? I've got quite a few videos where I've kind of started to talk and then gone blah, 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 blah.
Oh, like, awful. I've tried I've even tried the auto cues, and that's just garbage. It's just awful.
Well, it doesn't flow naturally then, does it? Like, you end up becoming a little bit robotic, because someone suggested that to me, and I was like, it doesn't sound natural. So people see through it. And it's just, I did try an auto cue to pre-record a video, and I was like, this isn't working for me. I think ultimately the best way I found it is either just say it and don't even think about it, as if you're talking to a friend. or having bullet points, because if there's certain things I definitely want to say, I will literally print out bullet points really big and stick it on my screen and just have that as a mental prompt. But you can't read stuff out because it's just weird.
No, you can just tell a mile off. You're just reading a script.
Yeah, exactly.
But you're right. It's all about being authentic. And
Mm.
on a lot of live events, I get asked, what should I do? What type of post should I put out? And how should I be on video? And I'm just thinking, just be yourself.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
can't do funny jokes and be silly and stuff because it would just come across awful. So I just come
Yeah.
across as boring me, but it
Same.
works. And
Yeah,
that's because I'm
exactly.
authentic.
Yeah, and I think this is the thing, like you can't pretend to be someone that you're not because people will see through it. Not everyone is going to like everybody. So there are some people that probably see my videos and go, oh, I can think of anyone worse to work with. She is too much, or, whatever. But then I would feel the same about other people. There's going to be people that I meet that go, oh, it's just not the right fit for me.
Yeah.
The personality clash is, the way they communicate, whatever. So you have to just accept that there are going to be people that see the stuff that you put out there and don't like it. That's human nature. Not everyone is friends with everybody, so you just have to get past that and just accept that, and hopefully most people will just scroll by and not say anything mean, but even if they do,
Absolutely.
just ignore it, because it's, that's been the way of the world. Not everyone likes everybody and not everyone gets on with everybody.
Yeah.
So just leave people to it. This is the way I see it.
Absolutely. And not everyone likes the remarkables. It's not
no,
everyone...
this is true. Yeah, there's been a lot. There is a little bit Marmite. I'm not going to lie. There's people that have said, there's kind of people that go, oh, I really want to try it, but is it a bit of a gimmick? And then there's people who've tried it and said, no, it's just not for me.
Yeah.
But it very much fulfilled a need for me, and obviously still does, in the sense that it's not another tablet, so there's no other distractions on it. It's very much, it is what it is. It is a note-taking tablet that feels like you're writing on paper, but you can organize your notes in a particular way. Because what I was finding, I don't have any on my desk, I've got these big green spiral-bound notebooks, and I've got so many of them. And either the notes will get lost in the ether of the middle of the book and I won't know where it is, or I've then got to type it out or dictate it into, because, Word's got a dictation function. But even then, it's not perfect. And I was spending so much time basically transcribing my notes. And I was like, what? There's got to be a better way than this. So for me, the amount of note-taking I take and being able to organize them in a certain way is revolutionary. Now, I do believe you can do that on, other tablets that are kind of the normal, iPads and, whatever. But I didn't want all of the distractions. I've already got my emails on my laptop, my desktop, and my phone. I've got all of that on there. I don't need another tablet that does those things as well. So for me, it was the perfect solution, really. But I do kind of get why people get one and go, well, actually,
I was so excited for mine. I waited for a whole year during lockdown, because I ordered it and then everything happened, and then it took me about a year to get it, and I loved it for the first week.
Have you not used it?
Hardly used it since. It was a really great.
Because don't they have a money back guarantee that you can return it?
No, it's a gadget, and one day I will want it again. And
yeah, but they'll be like remarkable Mark 10 by then, and it will be like old technology.
I know, but one day I really want to do some notes on it, and I promise I will. But I'm still waiting for that day to happen.
I guess it depends how many notes you take, doesn't it? This is the thing.
Yeah.
Actually, if you're not particularly a note taker or need to be a note taker, obviously as a solicitor, I have to take a lot of notes because I have to record what's going on in a meeting, so it does make a lot of sense. I'd be interested to meet a lawyer actually that says they don't like it and what the reasons are. And I can only imagine it's things like wrapping your head around the functionality of it. So, figuring out the folders and how to save stuff to the cloud. And there isn't ever such a slight lag on it. So it's like a sort of half a second when you try and turn a page. It's a little bit slow. It's not quite as quick as I suspect an iPad would be in that regard. But you soon get used to it. I think it's brilliant. I'm a big fan. I'm not going to lie, but there are lots of people that have kind of said, yeah, I bought one and it was rubbish. I sent it back. I
Cool.
hate it.
So what's the
But
plans now for the end of the year?
just to keep going, I think. I've got some pretty ambitious growth plans, and I've got some ideas for how we structure the business, because I think, I don't want to give away too much, but I think there are some ways that we as lawyers deliver legal advice that isn't necessarily with the client in mind. It's how we
Right.
think they should be delivered. So there's a couple of projects. There's a slight restructuring of how we deliver legal advice, and also a little project that I've got going on that I'm hoping to launch by the end of the year, which helps those business owners that perhaps can't afford direct advice from a lawyer, or actually it potentially doesn't necessarily make sense to access a lawyer for a specific thing, but they have some questions around business ownership. So there's a project that is a little bit of a secret project that I've got going on. I'm hoping to launch by the new year, all being well, but I've got a lot of work to do for it before then, so we'll see whether or not that happens. But there's definitely a need for it. It's just about figuring that out. But yeah, we'll see. What's Gareth said? Challenge accepted on Remarkable. Gareth, you need to get one, and then let me know. I think Gareth won't like it, actually. I've got a feeling that he's not going to like it, but we'll see what he says. What about you, Mike? What are your sort of what have we got, 4 months left of the year?
Well, I've had to I've had one of those years where there's been some ups, there's been some downs, and a couple of weeks ago, I ran into a tree.
Oh God!
In the
You
rain.
did. You hurt your eye, didn't you?
Oh yeah. So
you were really
I've
worried, right?
Yeah, I spent weeks with a really, really damaged eyeball, cut eyeball under there. So that's been horrible. For me, I just want to have a good Halloween and just get into the autumn vibes and start getting some, some really good things, and start some new projects with Frama, maybe some new things with MDR, just whilst we've got some dark nights, and just start getting
staying at home.
Yeah, I just want to get some really good ideas flowing now.
Yeah.
And
have you got any events coming up for Making Digital Real? Have you got any sort of training sessions coming up? When are they?
21st of this month. 21st of this month, so literally in a week or two.
Yeah.
And it's going to be the big one, the really good big LinkedIn live event. So I'm going to go through everything you need to know about LinkedIn, including the algorithm, getting views on your content, ideas on what you should be posting, and just looking at all the little hidden secret corners that LinkedIn has to offer that nobody has. Then we'll look at creator mode, the new features that are coming out, and we'll also look a bit on automation as well, because automation's a good thing if you use it right. So there should be no reason why we should be running away from it scared. If it saves us 5 hours a day, let's start embracing it.
Because you're a pretty big advocate of that, because you've started automating a lot of your stuff now, haven't you? And we briefly spoke about it, and I was going to have a session with you to see if we can figure out how to make it work for Hyde. We haven't done that yet, but you're quite a big advocate of automating sort of the sales process, aren't you?
Yeah. It's not spammy if it's something that you would do anyway. So I don't mean extracting 5,000 profiles and blitzing them all over 1 week. I'm on about small chunks of data, being able to really cleanse that data and understand who you are targeting. So that 10 minutes on a morning saves you 4 hours of constantly typing on a keyboard all day.
Right.
Just like
copy and paste forward to the next one, and then get the name wrong because you forgot to change it in the email and all that stuff.
And I don't just mean LinkedIn automation. I mean emails as well, and just being able to have all these different channels of communication that are available to us. And then when something does come in, then you start rehumanizing it all. And you've seen my little whiteboard before. I did a video the other day for Jodie and Stuart. So I have my little whiteboard, and
I love it.
When you paste that video message into their inbox, whether it's an email or a LinkedIn message, the animated GIF appears, so that the video they know is for them. They can see Mike. They're going to click on it. It's not a suspicious, weird-looking link anymore.
Yeah. Might be a suspicious, weird-looking guy, but it's not a link.
Yeah, always.
No, I love that. So how can they book onto your course that's next week? Have you got spaces still, or is it full?
Yeah, still got spaces. Just connect with me, DM. I'll send you a link. And if anyone mentions that they saw this live video, I'll put in a special discount code.
Yes, you did say that, didn't you? You were going to offer everyone a cheeky little discount if they watch the
Yeah,
live. Nice.
absolutely. It's
Love
a huge
it.
discount, 80%. So it's a
Wow.
massive discount, but they've got to mention that they saw this live stream today.
Okay, so they've got to watch for at least 36 minutes to find out.
Absolutely.
Love that. I love it. That's brilliant. Well, Mike, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining me. Of course, if anyone has any questions about how to use LinkedIn, then get in touch with Mike, because he's honestly got so much knowledge as to how to use it to leverage, how to leverage it to obviously build businesses. And, what you're doing is brilliant. And, I think it's great. And I love Frama. By the way, I am a big fan, and I haven't yet come across another e-signing software that really hits the spot like Frama does, like the
It's just so
R-Sign.
easy to use.
Yeah.
The problem
really
is not many people have heard of us, so I'm still on that uphill struggle of trying to get our name out there. So things like this really help. So thank you so much.
And you're facing off against, like you said, obviously DocuSign and the kind of really well-known ones. Everyone's like, well, I'll just use them. Why do we use you over them? So yeah, no, it's brilliant. I love it. Well, thank you, as I said. And I will obviously catch up with you soon.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Okay, brilliant. Thanks.